kind of muscles you have? No. Bro, what kind of patterns you have? Or is it just aesthetics?
Hello everybody, welcome back to training every single day. Now I started off with this diagonal stretch, which is a really good stretch. You can look it up, called the diagonal stretch. Really popularized by movement culture enthusiasts like Ido Portal and Roy Gold. Now, the main part of my training is to improve my life and really be in alignment with my goals and my life. Now, I train for movements that allow me to live my life better, and one of the most influential movements is the squat. I spent a lot of time working with the squat. In the squat, just throughout my life, it really opens up my ability to move on the ground, to touch the ground, interact with it. I spend about 5 minutes in a row in the squat, off camera a little bit after this, and I just go into the squat in and out of the day just to stretch my legs, just to rest, to sit, and it's often more comfortable than a chair. Now, once you spend some time in a squat and get very comfortable in it, you can spend 5+ minutes in a row in a squat and it just feels good. It really encourages me to interact with the ground, to do a ground flow, to stretch out some of the limbs, the fascia, the joints, and incorporate my wrist onto the ground with some crawling patterns, some interactions with the ground, and it challenges my patterns of movement, not so much walking, but to crawl and to do like some Florio stuff. Cador Ziani has a really good flow movement. He has a really good flow concept he talks about. And he really uses it to stretch out and really have amazing knees, ankles, and hips just by being onto the floor in different positions. All the joints can get articulated differently, and that's some of the stuff that I do off camera that really does help. It's a byproduct the way I train. For movement cultures, it just is so much better way of, I feel so much more comfortable in my own body. I can be more comfortable on the hard ground than before I did this movement training in like the most comfortable chair, because my whole body is very strong. All my joints are very strong. I know how to use them. I know how to loosen up where I need to be, and I can just be so comfortable anywhere physically that it's just amazing. That's why I really recommend you try to do some movement training, work on the abilities of loosening up all the joints, mobilizing all the joints, learning how to loosen up the body to keep it comfortable even in some awkward positions, and that just really increases my quality of life. I'm very comfortable anywhere. I'm often more comfortable on the floor than in some sort of fancy chair, some fancy cushion chair. But even in those fancy cushion chairs, it gives me a new object to play with. Like, I have the ground, and I have, that's where I spend most of my time, on the flat ground, or like slightly terrained, natural ground. And I am very comfortable with that. That's the bread and butter. But then when I sit in a chair, it's a new sense of, wow, this is a new sensation. It's a new posture I can play with, and I can, currently I often use it to articulate the spine, mainly working on like the neck area and the lower spine. My middle spine is pretty mobile. I chalk that up for a lot of bridges work, and spinal waves. So do a lot of spinal waves is what I've been working with when I sit in chairs. My neck, I can work with it, but there's some of the end ranges of motion can be a little uncomfortable to work with. And my lower, like the lower part of the spine, that's where I'm having a little bit of trouble. But I've been trying to doing some spinal waves against the wall, and just spending a lot of time working that kind of movement where I can loosen up the spine and be comfortable and really open up some creativity and of movement in the movement flows, and just being more loose and flowing. If you made it to this part of the video, please leave a like, please comment, please subscribe. And please follow my Instagram. That's the best way to support me. That's absolutely free. And if you want to book a coaching call, you can set up an email. I can help you get to your goals just that much faster. Or if you just want to call me, you can call me with the Connect With Me number at the bottom. Talk about whatever you'd like. Costs $1 per minute. Now, I tried to do some handstand balances. I'm making some progress with getting some better alignment in the handstand, and it's very difficult. It's going to take a lot more time, just so I can master the straight line handstand. Even though I can do handstand push-ups, even though I can hold it for about 30 seconds, there's still some work I can do with the alignment, changing my technique, and just with a different technique, it makes it harder for me just to balance that new technique for me. Now here I work on some legs, pumping the knees. Didn't really get too much arm drive at the beginning, but then I tried to get it going with the arms a little bit more. Working on legs for some athleticism, some footwork, some jumping, to try to get my legs to be more of able to move my body really well and be more reactive in all the directions. Sometimes I have the intention of going as far as possible, but the intention here was just to be reactive, to be quick, and being able to do it spontaneously. And my backflips, I like to get them more consistently good. I can do them, but sometimes I kind of flub the landing, and I'm going to work on getting that a little bit better. But right now I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm here doing some bridge work. Ever since I've been, focusing more on using the spine throughout my daily life, with some spinal waves, some low fatigue options to mobilize the spine and the back, my bridge did feel a lot better. And I felt it stretching out my shoulders a lot more, and I didn't really even feel a stretch in the back because I feel like my spine has become a lot more mobile. And I'm doing the splits here. I did a little bit of splits warming up throughout the day. With my squats, I would often just kind of work with the squat and then a Cul-de-sac squat just throughout my normal squatting throughout the day that I do. That fits into my daily life. Now I'm trying to be mobile and articulate as many things in my body while doing the splits as I can to both add some complexity to the movement and to make it a little bit harder. And then I finish off today's training with some butterfly stretch. Now this one I'm still struggling with. I'll stick with it. I think I'm making improvements. It's hard to tell. But this one is one of them that I'm still... I'll need to incorporate it differently throughout my life. Like doing this and then additionally add some movements that mimic the idea of doing a lotus pose throughout the day and with my regular squatting. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.